Good evening, An. Thank you so much for being on Entrepreneur Talk Show.
Thank you. I'm very glad to be here. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share on the platform.
Perhaps you'd like to start off with just introducing yourself and what you do.
Yes, thank you. So my name is Nguyen. I'm Vietnamese, but I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been living in the U.S. for almost 30 years since I was 16. My educational background is engineering for computers engineering, and I went on to get an MBA in marketing and finance. And for the last 2 decades or so, my focus has been on business development, leadership development, and communications. And that's what I love to do. And
Mhm.
I'm also a master facilitator for Points of View. That's where I met Andrea.
And that's where I met my sifu and my guru here. And just wondering, how did that engineering and the business connected? That's really far-fetched.
They're not really connected. When I came to the US, everybody was becoming an engineer. So for me, that's a natural choice. We go with the crowd. And my mom said, you go and be an engineer because that's where you can start making money. But when I was in engineering school, I saw people working really hard in the lab. And I said, I do not belong in the lab. I wanted to get out. So once I graduated, I was looking for different ways to get out. So I did not work as an engineer, but instead I opened a Vietnamese restaurant. But it was so hard. I have no idea how to run a business. So I went back to business school with the mindset that I'm going to open 1,000 Vietnamese restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
How do I start with one? So when I
Mm-hmm.
finished my MBA program, I opened my first and then my second. So engineering has nothing to do with the restaurant or the business. But engineer was the stepping stone for me, saying I don't want to do that because I want a different lifestyle. So going into business was the choice. And then I fell in love with it and I have a passion for it. So right now, if anybody was to sit down and talk business, I can sit there and talk for days or listen for days, either way. And that's where the passion is. And I think working in business allows one thing is allow me to meet so many interesting people and learn so much from them. So that's what I love.
And you didn't end up owning 1,000 Vietnamese restaurant.
I did not. I opened up five, and I realized that at this rate, I would have no life. The more restaurant I opened, the more responsibility and risk I had. And when I got married and have kids, I said, what can I do that I can spend more time, quality time? So I look for different ways, and one of the ways to do is to learn new ways to do the business, learn new ways to venture into different things. And I found different things that can really help me, help that lifestyle. So I think if we look inside and we look outside and see what can match, we can find what we're passionate about and give us the lifestyle that we need. So I'm very glad that I'm always open, looking for different things and learning from different people.
And
So
your
that's
choice was actually in network marketing?
it came to me accidentally, and at first I rejected it because we all heard it. But then when I looked into it, I saw it as a way for me to grow as a person and for
Mhm.
me to connect to the world. And in that connection, I learn about people, learn about their needs, learn about what they want, and I saw the opportunity for me to help them. And it's not just about network marketing or sales. I
Mhm.
see people are people and they have their desire, their goals, their passion, they're burning, just don't know where to go. And, the business side is one thing, but then the other side of it is how can we help people achieve what they want?
Yep.
And it can be through the network marketing, it can be through someone else. Because in my journey, it's not just about the business, it's always about the people and what they want. So I point people in various directions. Some open restaurants, some open nail salon, some open various other businesses. But they're happy. They know why they wake up to go to work. They know why they're working. Before they only knew that I'm working to pay the bills. But
Mhm.
working to pay the bills is very boring. Working for a life, working for a passion is very very different. Yeah.
So what's some of your biggest challenge or biggest lessons you learned in business?
One thing I know for sure is, in order for me to have more, I have to be more. That means learning more, taking classes, reading the books, having mentors. Learning is one of the things that I would never stop. So either they come to me accidentally, or I go and search them out. So I have traveled the world looking for different mentors or programs. I'm very selective on who I learn from because we were having this conversation earlier. We are talking about genuine leadership or genuine mentorship.
Yep.
And I only look for people who have done things, who have proven their methods, and I learn from them. So that's the one thing that I learned, is always learning and continue to grow into the person that you want. So let's say if I want to make $1 million, I have to be $1 million person in terms of knowledge, skill set, mindset, habits, right? Just like having six pack. In order for me to have a six pack app, I have to exercise. I have to go through the process to have six app. I cannot wish for it. So making money or having success is the same way. I could not wish for it, but I have to work hard for it in order for me to get there. But more importantly, in order for me to stay there. Sometimes getting there is hard, but believe me, staying there is even harder. So learning continuously so I can improve myself every single day. And on that path, just like anything else, there are always challenges along the way.
Mhm.
And this is the one principle that I learn and apply all the time. In fact, there was a time period when I have this piece of rock in my pocket all the time. And on that piece of rock, it says, "This too shall pass." So all the difficulties that I faced, I knew that it was going to be temporary if I work hard on it, because I knew that if I give up at that point, then I would come back to that point again and again in the future. So once I face a difficulty, I look for solution. I stay positive, and then sometimes I get over it in a week. Sometimes it takes months. Sometimes it seems forever, but in the end, it would pass. Then I became a better person out of that process. So always learn, always stay positive, always look for ways to improve ourselves. And that is a commitment I have to myself. See, sometimes we wait for other people to tell us what to do. I
Mhm.
don't. I tell myself every day that I would not stop learning until the day I die. And that's a commitment that I make to myself, not to anyone else. I hope you do the same.
I will.
Yeah.
And you mentioned this phrase, "This too shall pass." Is that your favorite tagline or that's your quote?
That is a tagline that I use mentally for me all that. Before it was verbally, right? Meaning, and when I'm so new to something, so when I'm coming up in life, facing different challenges, I'm like, I'm doing that mantra, like, you say something in Buddhist or in Catholic, it's like, "This too shall pass, this too shall pass." I have to verbally tell myself that this too shall pass. But now it's more like a mental process, right? In my head, I said, "This too shall pass." So in my head, I that's what I do, and it really really helps me. But for me, it's not a prayer. For me, it's a belief that this too shall pass if I do something about it. And there was another quote that I really liked. They say that, if you're going through hell, keep on going. And it's like, wow, this is so profound, because, if you're going through hell and you stop, you're not going to get past, you're going to be in hell. And the lesson is, if you're going through some difficulty times, let's say right now is a challenging time for a lot of people, keep on working on yourself. Keep on reading the books, keep on staying positive, keep on looking for solutions, and this shall pass. And the great opportunity awaits, because when people see difficulties, they think, "Oh my God, why am I so unlucky?" But what I see is, I see opportunity. I say, "Why am I so lucky?" What it means is, I'm given an opportunity to grow and to be better, right? So that's why there's a saying that, if you want patience, God does not give you patience, but God gives you an opportunity to be patient. And for me, everything I look at is an opportunity. And right now is a very, very important time for me as well, because I see opportunity for me to be so much better, so much more prepared for what's ahead of me.
Wow. I learned that nugget. I'm going to start looking for that stone later. I need to turn that physically as well. Yeah. And
Yes.
perhaps you would want to share with me, what's one of your favorite book till now? Like, you really love it. I see a lot of books behind you. Which one is your favorite?
Yeah, I am a lot. I have more books on the Kindle than on the shelves, because I like to travel and read. One of my most favorite books is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. The
Wow.
reason I love that book is, in there, he outlines 30 principles on how to win friends and influence people. And it's easy to understand, it's fun to read, but more importantly, those are the principles that we can practicing right away. For example, in there, there's a saying that there's a principle that says smile. Well, that's something that we can do right away, right? Smile. And, sometimes we read so many sales book, leadership book, management books, so many different books. But all the books should be boiled down to one thing: how do we interact with people? So, how do we win friends? How do we influence people? That those are the core principles on how we develop ourselves, how we develop relationship with other people. And in the end, doesn't matter what we do, we are working with people, right? And having the skill sets to work with people, to
Yeah.
have positive influence on them, to have them as friends instead of enemies, these are the best things that we can do for ourselves and for others. So I highly, highly recommend it.
Great. That's a fabulous book. I want to reread that book. I've read it 3 times. I'm going to go on the fourth time now. Thank
Yes.
you so much for your sharing. And thanks for being here. I know it's right early in the morning over where you are.
It is my pleasure to be here. And, the world is flat, and I'm so glad to be able to connect to people elsewhere, right? Besides from where I live. And Andrea is such a great person, a great leader that I've had a chance to know. So I want to thank you for being you, and thank you for what you do for the world, for others. And thank you for reaching out to me and allowing me to connect to your platform to other people.
Thank you for your time and have a good evening. Bye
You
bye.
too. Bye bye.